I got my tea, we're in the library, let's sit down and chat. Hi, hello, welcome to Pages in the Stars. My name is Ash. If you're new here, hello. If you're returning, welcome back. And if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can be alerted to all my bookish, not bookish, and sometimes writing content. It's been a while. I haven't checked in with you all since probably about the second or third week of Camp Nanowrimo back in April. Part of that being because there were some job things that came up that I took advantage of, so that cut into some of my writing and filming time. The other thing being allergies wreaked havoc and are still wreaking havoc, and I just didn't feel like filming. But starting to feel a little bit better and wanted to get back to filming because, hey, I really enjoyed writing vlogs. So, first thing we're going to do is update you on Demon Teeth. Where am I with Demon Teeth? Am I going to continue working on Demon Teeth? What are my plans for Camp Nanowrimo in July? Okay, first of all, finished off Camp Nanowrimo in April with about, I think, 11,383 words in Demon Teeth. So was I where I wanted to end Camp Nanowrimo in April? Not really, but I'm not going to beat myself up over that because I've made a lot of progress with Demon Teeth in April. Not just word count wise, but also where I was taking the story. Demon Teeth I've been working on since regular NaNoWriMo in November of 2020. And where Demon Teeth was in November of 2020 is not where Demon Teeth is now in May of 2022. The story has changed, the characters have changed, motivations have changed, antagonists have changed. Just so much in the story has changed, and I am so thrilled with all the changes that the story has gone through. Did I end Camp NaNoWrimo where I wanted to end it? No. But am I pleased with the progress that I've made with Demon Teeth thus far? Yes. And that is what's important to me. Bringing us to the next question. Am I still working on Demon Teeth? Yes. Do I plan to continue working on it for Camp NaNoWrimo in July? Yes. So for those of you who don't know, Camp NaNoWrimo takes place twice a year in April and in July. I will be continuing to work on Demon Teeth in July. So is writing content here to stay on Pages in the Stars? Yes, I'm going to continue doing writing vlogs. I have a lot of fun doing the writing vlogs, and I like getting to interact with you all through the writing vlogs and the comments and the things that you leave me, which I really appreciate. Plan here is I have a lot of things that I hand wrote. There were a lot of things that I hand wrote that I need to type up. One of the other things that I noticed during Camp NaNoWrimo this year is that I cannot write linearly, and that's usually when I get stuck. So I will start somewhere at the beginning, and then I'll find that I want to work on the end, or I'll find that I want to work on the middle. So I was bouncing around a lot during Camp NaNoWrimo, and I noticed that I was writing more because I was bouncing around and not forcing myself to work from point A to point B to point C to point D to point E. Yeah, I want to introduce you to the newest addition to Pages in the Stars. This is Gally, everyone. This is my alien bear, and I love her very much. Her name is Gally because I could not decide if I wanted to name her after the person who discovered Jupiter's moons, Galileo, or if I wanted to name her after the planet of the Time Lords, Gallifrey. So I just decided I was going to go in the middle and do both and just name her Gally. So this is Gally, and I love her very much. Gally is our resident alien here on this intergalactic joyride we call Pages in the Stars. So you will see Gally popping up quite frequently. Anyway, I have some writing to get done. The point I'm working on in the story right now is that, you know, where the bad guys close in. I have my main character E, who is desperately trying not to get her mother wrapped up in this mess that she finds herself wrapped up in, which is leading her to lie to her mother. And I love E's mother, I really do, and my main character E feels really bad about the things that she's putting her mother through right now, but she's trying to protect her mother. So she feels like she's doing the right thing, but everything's probably going to come crashing down on her. Okay, it is several hours later. I got a little bit of writing done, not as much as I wanted to, but progress is progress, so I'm going to be proud of that. I think what I'm going to do is just keep handwriting and then typing and handwriting and then typing and working like that, because when I'm just typing, I get way too easily distracted. Also, I notice my thoughts just flow a lot better when I'm writing first. I think quicker when I'm handwriting. It's May 31st, which means tomorrow is June 1st, which means tomorrow is the first day of Pride Month.
And I am starting off my Pride Month by reading or rereading The Kindred by Alicia Dow. If you've been around on Pages in the Stars for a while, you know I absolutely love Alicia Dow's books. So I'm going to start off Pride Month by rereading The Kindred, and then I'm going to follow that by rereading The Sound of Stars. And if you've read both of these books, you know why I'm reading this one first. I'm very excited to dive back into this world. So we'll see how far I get in it tonight, and I will check in with you all tomorrow morning. Bye.
Good morning. It is Thursday. You did not see me yesterday because I needed an entire day to recover from that episode of Kenobi. If you haven't watched the third episode of Kenobi, skip to this timestamp in my hand here. When I first got into Star Wars when I was like 11, 12 years old, Darth Vader was single-handedly, the most terrifying fictional villain on the planet to me, or in existence to me. Darth Vader had me shaking in my boots, okay? But you grow up, and fictional villains start becoming slightly less intimidating and scary. That episode fully brought me back to that 11, 12-year-old who was just shaking in her boots because Darth Vader was terrifying. Oh my God, that was something else. I really enjoyed that episode. I love Moses Ingram as Reva. I know there's a lot of people who have issues with her character, and some people don't have issues with her character. They have issues with the fact that she's a dark-skinned black woman in Star Wars, but get over it. And here's the thing with her character. She's Inspector Javert. She's very much filling the role of an Inspector Javert-like character who is obsessed with this one particular person who she is determined to track down, which was Inspector Javert in Les Mis. Back to writing. I did get writing done yesterday. It just wasn't filmed. I did a lot of hand drafting. I've said it before, but I'm a lot more comfortable hand drafting first and then typing everything up. It just helps everything flow better. I get all my ideas out. When I go straight to typing in Scrivener, everything kind of gets jumbled up. So I like hand drafting everything a lot better. Also, my mom got me these. Let me see if I can show you guys. So my chair is moving. My mom got me these really cool mechanical colored pencils. So I've been color coding things. Like I color coded dialogue. So certain characters are blue, certain characters are green, certain characters are red, some characters are pink, certain emotions have different colors. Let me fix my chair. So yeah, I have a lot of fun like color coding when I hand draft. Is it going to serve a purpose? We'll see. But am I having fun with it? Absolutely. So am I going to keep doing it? Yes. I said on Tuesday when I started this vlog that the part of the story that I'm currently working on is where the bad guys close in. And well, I did talk about earlier in the vlog that Demon Teeth has drastically changed since I first came up with the story, since I first came up with this idea in November of 2020. There are certain things that I always knew I wanted to be present in Demon Teeth. And a lot of those ideas come to play in where the bad guys close in. So I feel like this part of the story is a bit easier for me to draft just because I've always had an idea of what I wanted this part of the story to look like, and it hasn't changed much. There's definitely been a whole lot of changes, but I've always had a pretty general idea of what I wanted how I wanted things to play out, what I wanted to happen, where I wanted the relationships with the characters to be. So this part of the story is I'm moving a little bit quicker with the drafting process of this story. So, like I said, I don't necessarily write in a linear fashion. So next week I could jump back to the first act and then just bounce back and forth. But it kind of helps me keep the ideas fresh and just not get stale or stuck when I'm writing, when I'm bouncing back and forth. So there's that. I think the goal for today is going to be to continue hand drafting, but also type up the scenes that I've worked on. And it kind of hit me during yesterday's episode of Kenobi, and how Vader's actions in that episode very much brought me back to when I was 11, 12 years old and I was first watching Star Wars, and Vader absolutely terrified me. Like Darth Vader when I was in middle school straight up gave me nightmares. And Vader's actions in Kenobi yesterday very much more brought me back to that. I was scared. And as I was writing, I was kind of thinking, because a lot of the scenes, the scene that I'm currently working on, my antagonist is heavily present in it. I want my antagonist to give that same feeling. I want people to feel sheer terror when they read scenes with my antagonist. That is what I want them to feel. So I'm trying to bring those feelings that I felt while I was watching Kenobi yesterday and bring them into my writing. It is Friday, or at least it's Friday for me. It will not be Friday when I upload this vlog, but happy Friday, everyone, or happy day, whatever it is when you are watching this video. So last time you saw me, I was typing up some things that I hand drafted in my handy dandy notebook. And then most of the time I spent yesterday was spent hand drafting some more. And a lot of time today was spent hand drafting. I think that's just my go-to for now, is just to hand draft out as much as I can, and then when I'm ready, type it up. I'll write, 3 different variations of a piece of dialogue, and then just see which one flows better with what I write next. The only problem with this is, and I was explaining this to someone earlier, is that I will block out, 8 pages in my notebook for a scene for me to, to write dialogue, descriptions, and vibes, doodle something that has to do with the scene. I'll block out 8 pages for a specific scene. And I will write a piece of dialogue, that I have an idea for, but that's it. It's just that piece of dialogue, because that's all I have for that scene at that moment, or that's all I have for that piece of dialogue. And then I'll have other ideas around it for something that happens later in the scene, or a different piece of dialogue that does not connect to the preceding piece of dialogue. And then the next idea that I get for what comes after that initial piece of dialogue, I now have no space for, because the rest of that page and the following page are filled with other things. So then, I don't have any space except, to go for 3 pages later to continue this dialogue that I have. It's a mess. It is a mess. This notebook is a certified, bona fide mess, but it works, or at least it works right now for me. I have one piece of the scene that I drafted out in pink, so anything relating to that part of the scene is written in pink. So I'm at least trying to organize this mess. That's the update for that. I am still in the middle of where the bad guys close in. I have one specific scene I am working on right now, and as much fun as I'm having drafting it, and I think I'm having fun drafting it because it's one of those scenes that I knew I wanted early on in the story, that I knew, back in November of 2020 when I, first had this idea. I was like, okay, this is a scene that I want. And then I'm finally getting to it. I finally have all my ideas, my pieces, starting to piece things together. So as much fun as I'm having writing this scene, it's also a really heartbreaking scene. And I didn't realize how much writing this scene was going to impact me. Or how much of a, not a mess, but how upset I was going to be while writing this scene. I had this happen earlier in Demon Teeth with a scene in the first act, but I knew I was going to have difficulty. I knew this was going to be an emotional scene for me to write. I did not anticipate it with this scene, so I did not take the necessary precautions. So last night I was like, why am I so upset? What's wrong? And I was like, oh wait, Ash, you worked on that, really upsetting scene. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. If you're writing scenes that are difficult for you, just remember to take care and take a break if necessary, decompress, because I forgot to do that. So it's almost 3 o'clock. I think I'm going to go make some tea. The plan for this afternoon was going to be to go out and go on my skateboard for a little bit, but I don't know what the weather is doing. It was cloudy and looked like it was about to rain about 10 minutes ago, and now the sun is out, but there's more storm clouds off in the distance, so I have no idea what's going on with the weather. I think first and foremost, my throat is crying for tea. So I'm going to go make some tea and then figure out what I'm doing, or figure out what the weather is doing.
Okay, in case anyone was ever interested to see just exactly how much tea I have, there's this drawer here. And then there's this drawer, which is also filled with tea. I have no idea which one I'm having right now. This is just tea. Tea everywhere. 5 minutes later, we have settled on double milk oolong from the Republic of Tea. I want it on record that no, I did not spill boiling water while I was trying to make my tea. That never happened. You didn't see it. It doesn't exist. It is like limit. It doesn't exist. Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday. It is Saturday, June 4th. Happy weekend, everyone. I just finished writing my to-do list, which is pretty short for today, but if I get everything done, if I get the 2 things done on the list, then I'm going to obviously add things. There's 2 scenes in Demon Teeth that I want to work on today. The first one is the scene that I have dubbed L's Tragedy, like the letter L. It's a character whose name starts with the letter L. So yeah, I would like to finish working on L's Tragedy today. And yes, this is the scene that I talked about yesterday that I said, wow, I did not realize how emotional, what an emotional toll the scene was going to take on me while I was writing it. Should have figured that, considering I dubbed the scene L's Tragedy, but you know, we live and learn. So, in case anyone couldn't tell from that last clip, my brain is fried. I think in a good way, because I made a lot of progress and I figured some things out, but my brain is fried right now. So, it's a little after 7 o'clock. I have taken some breaks today, but for the most part, I've been going back and forth between researching, because I sent one of my non-writer friends something I wrote just because I wanted to see if they could figure out what I was describing in my description, and it led to me doing some additional research, but then also sent my friend down a rabbit hole of researching the structure of bird wings. So today's been a mishmash of typing, hand drafting, researching, and also spending some time on Pinterest because I needed some ideas for a throne room. So yeah, a lot has been accomplished today. I'm not calling it a day right now, but I am going to get some food and either watch Doctor Who or watch the original Japanese Iron Chef, or maybe I'll watch Turning Red for the 35,000th time. I don't know. I'll figure something out. Good morning. It is Sunday, June 5th. I think the last time you saw me, my brain was completely fried and I was getting ready to make dinner. And I also had ice cream. And then the Les Mis 25th anniversary concert at the London O2 was on. So I wrapped up my night by watching that. And that was really exciting because I didn't know that was on. And I love Les Mis. I'm going to get up It is currently, it's not even 7:30 yet. I normally do not get up this early on the weekends, but I'm working on getting up earlier so I can get more writing in during the day, so we're going to do that. So I'm going to get up, eat, and caffeinate myself. And then we're going to get started with our day. The finished product. My water bottle is empty. I should probably fix that. Alright, hello. It is Tuesday, June 7th. Originally, this vlog was supposed to end yesterday, and I was going to edit it yesterday, and I took the afternoon off and decided to, hop on my skateboard for a little bit. I'm trying to make it so there's at least one day where I'm not really in front of the camera or not necessarily vlogging. So I took yesterday as that and took the afternoon off and went to go skateboard, and it was a lot of fun. Am I a great skateboarder? No, by any means, not at all. Does it bring me a lot of joy? Yes. So in regards to Demon Teeth, the last few days have been such an explosion of creativity and ideas and writing, and I am so excited. I talked earlier in the vlog that I was working on this scene. It's just this really devastating scene where the secret gets revealed about this character, and it's just a really sad and devastating scene, and working from that. So basically, I revealed something that happened in one of my characters' past. I'm having a lot of fun with my writing right now, and not even in the hoo-hoo, how can I cause my characters pain today? I mean, yes, that, but also I'm genuinely enjoying what I'm writing, and I'm enjoying where Demon Teeth is going and the story that I'm creating within the pages of my notebook. I'll have an idea for how I want a scene to go, and I'll write out a few different options and then write out the pros and cons of each option, or I'll have an idea in my head for a piece of dialogue and I'll write out, 5, 6 different ways the dialogue can go, and then figure out which one I feel like best fits with my character. Because there was an idea for a scene that I had, and as sweet and endearing as the scene was going to be, I realized that it didn't fit with where my characters were in their journey at that point. So I had to scrap that idea and come up with another idea that I actually like a lot better. So I'm at that point where I'm having a lot of fun with my writing, and I'm just going to run with it, because I know there's going to be days where I'm stuck, I'm going to struggle. So I just want to run with the immense amount of joy and this just constant flow of creativity that I am feeling right now. I'm going to take what I have written in my notebook and type it up, add it into the chapters that I am currently working on while drinking my tea and munching on these cookies that are way too good. Good morning. It's Wednesday. How do you know it's Wednesday? Because I have this pulled up on my screen. It's about to watch the new episode of Obi-Wan, except I forgot it was Wednesday. So I normally watch the new episode of Obi-Wan before I get up, because I know if I hop on any form of social media, I'm gonna get it spoiled for me. So I'm gonna watch a bit of it before I have to get ready for the rest of my day. Probably not gonna be able to finish it. We'll see.
Well, that was a roller coaster. I just finished the episode of Kenobi. I'm not going to say anything, because when this vlog probably goes up, it will be probably Friday, and I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen the episode yet. But I really enjoyed it, and that's all I'm going to say. Reva is still very much giving Inspector Javert. The funny thing about this is seeing all the people who complain about Obi-Wan got nerfed, man. Like, he's not as strong as he used to be. And I'm like, dude has been hiding out in the desert for what, 10 years at this point, not using the Force, like not practicing with a lightsaber, and yada yada, all that other stuff. And you know, I used to take ballet classes when I was a kid. I danced from probably around like ages 4 to like 11 or 5 to 11. I have not taken a ballet class since like 6th grade. Can I do some of the basic things that I still did in ballet class? Can, you know, I still do pliés and go on releves? Absolutely. Are my grand jetés, you know, at a straight 180 degrees? No, because I haven't done actual ballet practice or classes in years. So can we apply some logic? Why are we expecting someone who's been hiding out in the desert for 10 years to come out and be able to fight at the same strength that he did when he took on Anakin on Mustafar? I don't understand how you can say that someone was nerfed or a character was nerfed when it's just basic bodily functions and logic. I don't understand that. I know I said it yesterday, but I really love where Demon Teeth is going right now. And I know first draft, going to go through multiple changes, the whole 9 yards, but I've been working on Demon Teeth since like November of 2020, and there's characters that have changed. Their place in the story has changed. Settings have changed. You know, motivations have changed and things like that. And I don't think I was necessarily capable of writing the story that I wanted to write back in November of 2020. And now looking at myself and where I am in life right now, in June of 2022, as much as I wanted to be one of those writers who could just bust out a novel in like a month, I'm glad I didn't, because Demon Teeth wouldn't be where it is now if I had, you know, kept going with all of my original ideas in November of 2020. I used to think it was not necessarily a sign of weakness, but I used to think it was, you know, a sign of me not being a strong writer, that, you know, it takes me a while to get through my ideas and get everything down and figure out where I want all the puzzle pieces to fall. And now I'm seeing that, you know, my growth and my experience in life is really helping shape these stories and make them better. For any other writers who feel like they are, you know, they're slow writers and that's a poor reflection on them as a writer, just try to reframe that thought, because it's definitely something that's helped me. And there's things that I've wrote in, pieces of dialogue, that descriptions, emotions that are coming through in Demon Teeth that I definitely would not have written back in November of 2020 when I first came up with the concept. And those pieces of Demon Teeth that I'm currently writing are some of my favorite pieces. And to me, they're making the story all the more better. So I'm really happy about that.
So, a word to the wise. Don't leave your storyboards on the floor, because then the basement will flood and your storyboard notes will get ruined.
So yeah, the plot board, the storyboard got wet. Thankfully, the only note that really got damaged was that one note. I'm annoyed, I'm frustrated with myself. I left my storyboard in a place where if the floor did get wet, the storyboard was going to get wet. So really, what did we learn today, Ash? Don't leave your storyboard on the floor, because if the floor gets wet, the storyboard is going to get wet. Basic common sense, brain fart. But all things considered, I'm glad that was the only part of the storyboard that got wet, that got damaged, and it's a part of the story that has already partially been written. So I know what is supposed to go there, and I know what was on that note. So all things considered, it's not a disaster. I'm going to celebrate that. It's not a disaster, and next time I use my storyboard, I know to put it someplace elevated. But anyway, I'm going to wrap up this vlog here. Let me know, are you participating in the July Camp NaNoWriMo? What are your plans for Camp NaNoWriMo? And give a like and subscribe if you feel so inclined, and I will see everybody in the next video. Bye.